When the power goes out, life grinds to a halt. It's not just an inconvenience, it's a disruption that can put your comfort, safety, and even survival at risk if you're not ready. Power failures can strike without warning, whether it's a hurricane ripping through the grid, a snowstorm taking down the lines, or a random blackout in the middle of summer. The reality is simple. You need to be prepared. Hoping the lights come back on isn't a strategy. Power outages don't care about timing. They can last for hours, days, or even longer, depending on the damage or situation. You think your phone battery is going to save you? Spoiler alert, it won't. That battery pack you forgot to charge? Also useless. And when you're sitting in the dark trying to figure out how to stay warm, keep your food safe, or just find some water, you'll wish you had planned ahead. The good news? Being prepared isn't complicated. Having the right items on hand can turn a potentially dangerous situation into a manageable inconvenience. It's about peace of mind. It's about knowing that when the unexpected happens, you've got everything you need to keep you and your loved ones safe. Because the truth is, power failures are inevitable, but being caught off guard doesn't have to. Stay ready, and you'll never have to feel powerless again. 1. Get flashlights for everyone. When the power goes out, your first line of defense is a flashlight, and not just any flashlight, but reliable, battery-powered ones. This isn't the time to hunt for that cheap giveaway flashlight when you can barely see 3 feet in front of you. Your home should have a flashlight for every single household member. Why? Because emergencies don't care if you're stumbling around in the dark, banging into furniture like a fool. Everyone needs their own source of light, period. Think about how pitch black your home gets without power. Trying to get through the first few hours of a blackout without proper lighting is not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Kids trip on toys, adults stub toes on furniture, and pets? They'll likely knock over whatever you're holding if you can't see them. A decent flashlight ensures no one is left in the shadows. And don't skimp on batteries either. A flashlight without working batteries is as useless as no flashlight at all. Stockpile extras and store them in a place you'll actually remember. Want to step it up a notch? Go for flashlights, with additional features like a strobe mode for signaling or an extended run time for long outages. Also, keep them accessible. What good is a flashlight if you don't know where it is? Put one in critical areas of your home, like the kitchen, bedrooms, and near the main entrance. When the power cuts out, and it will eventually, flashlights are your lifeline. 2. Use LED lanterns for lighting larger spaces. Flashlights are great for personal use, but they won't cut it for lighting an entire room. That's why LED lanterns are a non-negotiable item during a power outage. They're portable, energy efficient, and designed to spread light over larger areas. Trying to keep a living room lit up with one flashlight is laughable. Sure, you could gather the household with everyone holding their flashlights, waving them around like they're at a concert, but wouldn't it be easier to turn on an LED lantern? Of course it would! LED lanterns are a game changer the moment the lights go out. They can provide steady, bright light for hours, if not days, depending on the model. Perfect for family meals, playing board games, or just navigating a common space without tripping over everything in sight. And unlike candles, they don't pose a fire risk, making them a much safer choice if you've got children or clumsy adults around. What kind should you get? Look for rechargeable versions or ones that can work with replaceable batteries. Some models even come with solar charging capabilities or built-in USB ports to keep other devices powered. A lantern with adjustable brightness settings is also a solid choice, since you don't always need it cranked up to full beam power. The best part? They're hands-free and easy to carry wherever the family migrates. Keep at least 2 or 3 in your home so major spaces like the living room, kitchen, and a central hallway stay lit. Sitting in a dim room during an outage doesn't just feel eerie, it's unnecessary. Equip yourself with LED lanterns and take back the control power outages try to steal from you. 3. Keep candles and matches as your last resort. If you think candles are your primary backup plan, you're already on the wrong track. Candles and matches should only be a last resort for lighting during a power outage. Yes, they have been around forever. Yes, they don't require batteries or worrying about recharging, but they are plain and simple an old-school hazard. They burn down, they tip over, and they can start a fire faster than you can scream, "Where's the fire extinguisher?" That being said, if your flashlights fail and your lanterns are out of commission, candles can still salvage the situation. The key is to use them smartly and sparingly. Start with storing them somewhere dry and accessible. because digging through drawers in the dark is not how you want to spend an outage. Use sturdy candle holders, preferably ones that catch dripping wax. And forget about that scented stuff meant for relaxing baths. You need functional candles, like utility or emergency grade types that won't burn out in an hour. Matches? Lighters? Both. Matches are foolproof, unless they get wet, and lighters are quicker. Get both. So you're covered and don't even think about walking around with a lit candle in hand. That's how accidents happen, not to mention the wax mess you'll leave in your wake. If you're using candles, keep them in one place with someone responsible watching over them. Here's the bottom line. Candles will help you see when nothing else works, but they aren't safe or sustainable. They are Plan Z, not Plan A. If your blackout prep starts and ends with grab some candles, it's time to rethink your entire approach. You can do better. You should do better. 4. Have portable power banks handy. When the lights go out, one of the first things you'll notice is the rising panic as your phone's battery percentage drops. Guess what? That little glowing rectangle in your hand is more than a social scrolling device during a blackout. It's your lifeline for communication, updates, and possibly even navigation. A dead phone during an outage is as useful as a flashlight without batteries. This is where portable power banks come in. A good quality power bank is a blackout essential. And don't go cheap here. That bargain basement power bank that charges your phone to 17% after 6 hours? Trash. Invest in a high-capacity one that can charge at least 2 or 3 devices multiple times. Pro tip, look for units that charge fast and hold their juice for months. It's not unheard of for power outages to drag on longer than anticipated. On that note, don't wait until the power's already out to realize your power bank is sitting dead in a drawer. Check its charge regularly, like a responsible adult. Better yet, keep more than one. A backup for your backup is always smart. You don't want to be scrambling to find some sketchy plug at a neighbor's generator or, worse, wandering out during the chaos looking for a semi-operational charging station. Portable power banks are small, light, and easy to store until you need them. There's no excuse not to have them ready to go. Bottom line, a charged phone can provide life-saving information and emergency assistance. If you're stuck staring at a blank screen because you didn't plan ahead, that's on you. 5. Use solar chargers. Solar chargers are the underappreciated heroes of blackouts. Unlike traditional power banks that eventually run out, these clever gadgets use sunlight to keep the juice flowing. If you live in an area with decent weather, this is probably the cheapest, most reliable solution for keeping your smaller devices alive. No gas, no outlets, just the big free energy ball in the sky. And don't expect miracles. Solar chargers aren't going to power your fridge or light up your entire living room. These are for essentials like phones, rechargeable flashlights, and other small electronics. Think better than nothing situation. If you're getting one, buy one that actually works. Ignore the gimmicky, budget-friendly models that take 12 hours to charge your phone halfway. Do some research, read reviews, and pick one with decent wattage. Many solar chargers fold up for portability, making them easy to store or toss into an emergency kit. Another trick? Pair your solar charger with your portable power banks. Use solar to recharge the power banks during the day and then recharge your devices off those power banks at night. It's a simple strategy to stretch your resources and keep your gear running longer. If you've been ignoring solar chargers because you think they're too niche or for survival nuts, think again. They're a dependable fallback when the grid fails, and they don't take up much space. During a prolonged blackout, a small panel soaking up sunlight on your windowsill could be the difference between staying connected or being incommunicado. Skip the skepticism and get a solar charger. When the next blackout hits, you'll thank yourself for thinking beyond just batteries. 6. Invest in a generator. Here's the thing about blackouts and generators. Not having one is like walking a tightrope without a net. Sure, you might get lucky and not need it, but why take the gamble? If the power's out for more than a few hours, you're going to wish you had a way to keep your fridge running, power a fan, or charge your essential devices. That's where generators step in. A generator isn't a luxury, it's smart planning. But not all generators are created equal, so know your options before making a purchase. Gas generators are the most common, they're affordable, crank out a lot of power, and are good for running multiple appliances. The downside? They're loud, require fuel, and can't be used indoors because of carbon monoxide risks. If you opt for a gas generator, stockpile fuel safely and understand how to operate it correctly. Solar generators? Excellent for quieter and eco-friendly use. They're not as strong as gas models, but they're game-changing if you live in a sunny area. They're ideal for powering smaller essentials or topping up your devices. As long as there's daylight, a solar generator can keep working without endangering your health with fumes. Finally, there are dual fuel or inverter generators. These hybrid machines balance power output, portability, and fuel use, but they come at a higher price. If you want a serious generator setup, this is the way to go. Get yourself a generator before the next outage. Don't wait until the store shelves are bare, or worse, until you're stuck in the dark trying to salvage thawing food. Generators save lives, not to mention your sanity. If you haven't planned for this yet, truthfully, you're doing it wrong. 7. Stock up on non-perishable foods. When the power goes out, that fancy fridge full of fresh groceries essentially becomes useless. A day or two in, you'll be tossing spoiled foods straight into the trash. This is why non-perishable foods are a blackout no-brainer. Staples like canned goods, freeze-dried meals, and shelf-stable snacks can save you from going hungry or wasting energy trying to figure out how to cook without electricity. Start with canned goods. They're cheap, long-lasting, and filling. Think beans, soups, stew, chili, tuna, and even canned fruit for something sweeter. Bonus points if you choose options with easy open lids, but don't count on them. More on that later. For more variety, toss in freeze-dried options like instant noodles, rice meals, or campers meal packets that can be prepped with hot, or sometimes even cold, water. Don't forget simple snacks like jerky, granola bars, nuts, and crackers. These little lifesavers don't require heat or prep, and they deliver quick calories when you're tired or just too stressed to bother with full meals. Plus, if you have kids, snacks can keep them from whining non-stop. Here's the deal, though. Stock up before you need them. If you're trying to rifle through empty store shelves in the middle of a blackout, you've already lost. And for the love of everything, check expiration dates when you're stashing canned and dried goods. Rotating the stock every few months is not rocket science, people. Stay ahead of the game. Last pro tip, include a premium treat or your favorite junk food in the stash. Comfort food can go a long way in keeping you sane when all else seems to suck. Because trust me, when everyone's stuck in the dark, a little mental break in the form of a snack feels like a godsend. 8. Don't forget the manual can opener. All those carefully selected canned goods in your emergency stash, totally useless if you can't open them. No, smashing a can against the pavement or improvising with a screwdriver isn't a real plan. Do you really want to be that person during an emergency? Didn't think so. A solid manual can opener is the unsung hero of power outages. If you don't own one, you're not prepared, plain and simple. Manual can openers are ridiculously cheap, efficient, and compact. Get a few. They're so small that you'll barely notice a couple of spares lying around. Keep one in your kitchen, one in your grab-and-go emergency kit, and maybe even toss one in your car for good measure. We're talking total insurance against a ridiculous and avoidable problem. Now, don't expect manual can openers to last forever. Cheap, flimsy ones tend to break or dull over time, especially if you're the type who buys the first thing you see at the dollar store. Spring for a sturdy, high-quality option that can handle repetitive use if your blackout stretches on for several days. Look for ergonomic designs that don't wreck your hands after 2 cans. Also, teach everyone in your household how to use one. You'd be surprised how many people under 30 stare at manual can openers as if they're alien technology. Don't leave yourself stranded with a mountain of food and no one who can figure out how to access it. It's simple prep, but highly necessary. A manual can opener lets you get to that sweet stash of food you wisely stocked up on, meaning you won't starve or resort to eating crackers all day. Skip this step, and every meal could turn into an uphill battle. Don't overcomplicate things. Just add a can opener or two to your gear and check this basic adulting box. 9. Prioritize water storage and filtration. Here's a cold, hard truth about blackouts. Electricity might seem vital, but water is non-negotiable. Whether it's the pipes freezing in winter or pumps failing at your local water supply due to grid issues, water can stop flowing faster than you think. If you don't have enough of it stashed or a way to make questionable water drinkable, you're totally screwed. Start by stockpiling bottled water and water jugs. Figure on at least a gallon per person per day. And that's just for drinking, not cooking, cleaning, or anything else. If you've got space, stack up extra. Water is heavy, but having plenty on hand means you can avoid some truly unpleasant scenarios. When bottled options aren't practical, consider collapsible water storage containers. They're space-saving and super useful in emergencies when refilling becomes an issue. But storage alone isn't enough. What happens if your water supply gets contaminated or runs out? That's where portable water filters come in. A decent filter can turn murky water from a stream, rain barrel, or even your toilet tank into something drinkable. Gross, but it's survival. Get over it. Straw-style filters are compact and great for individuals, while larger pump filters are ideal for families. They're better than betting it all on boiling water, which assumes you'll somehow have heat and fuel during a blackout. Don't forget purification tablets as a backup. They're cheap, weigh nothing, and can handle batches of questionable water easily. They don't taste amazing, but staying hydrated beats dehydration by a mile. If you've ignored the whole water thing so far, it's time to rethink your system. Blackouts can knock out critical infrastructure, leaving you dry when you need water the most. Failing to prepare isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Get your water supply and filtration figured out now before you're up a creek, literally without a paddle. 10. Bundle up with blankets and sleeping bags. If you're dealing with a blackout during cold weather and you didn't prep for warmth, you're in for a miserable and potentially dangerous experience. Heat is one of the first things to go when the power shuts off. Without it, you'll be shivering in no time, especially during a winter outage. This is why blankets and sleeping bags are not just nice-to-haves, they're survival essentials. Start with blankets, and know that thin fleece throw you bought on clearance isn't going to cut it. You need heavy-duty options capable of trapping heat. Wool blankets are fantastic because they're warm even when damp, but thick cotton or down options work too. Stack as many as you can spare into your blackout kit. Layers matter, both on your body and on your bed. Sleeping bags, particularly ones rated for cold weather, are a game changer. These aren't just for camping. A high-quality sleeping bag can keep you toasty even when indoor temperatures drop below freezing. If you live in a region prone to severe winters, invest in bags designed for sub-zero conditions. They're worth every penny when your house feels more like a meat locker than a home. Pro tip: don't leave yourself scrambling for warmth at the last minute. Make sure your bedding stash is easily accessible, preferably in one place where you can grab it quickly. And for families, think ahead with extra sleeping bags for kids and compact options for pets. A family freezing in the dark isn't anyone's idea of preparedness. Final note: this isn't just about comfort, it's about survival. Hypothermia can kick in fast during extreme cold, especially if you're unprotected. Investing in proper blankets and sleeping bags now means avoiding a deadly situation later. No excuses. Prep for warmth today. 11. Stay cool with battery-powered fans. Blackouts in the middle of summer are brutal. The air conditioning stops, fans don't work, the walls of your home turn into an oven, and you can't exactly escape to cooler places if the entire grid is dead. If you're not prepared with tools to combat the heat, you're setting yourself up for a sweltering, miserable time. Enter battery-powered fans. These little wonders can make all the difference between surviving a summer blackout or completely losing your mind. A solid battery-powered fan isn't just useful, it's essential. Heat exhaustion and dehydration are real threats, especially for kids, seniors, and anyone with health issues. A compact fan blowing directly on you can lower your body temperature significantly and help you avoid heat illnesses. And don't skimp here. Cheaper models barely circulate air and eat through batteries too quickly. Spend the extra bucks for an efficient model with variable speeds. Speaking of batteries, stockpile them. Lots of them. Fans eat power faster than most other devices, so having backups on hand is critical. If you're already relying on other gear like flashlights or radios, make sure you know which sizes and types you'll need and build your battery stash accordingly. On top of a fan, think about where you'll set up. A fan only works as well as the airflow you create. Position it near a window at night or early morning to pull in cooler air, or use it in the center of a shaded, well-ventilated area during the hottest parts of the day. Hot weather blackouts can turn ugly fast. Heat isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Having a battery-powered fan isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Skipping this prep means adding unnecessary suffering to an already tough situation. Handle it now, thank yourself later. During 12, get a battery-powered or hand-crank radio. Blackouts aren't just about what you can see around you. The stuff you don't know, like what's going on outside your home or how long the power will be out, can escalate your anxiety and make critical decision-making harder. This is why a battery-powered or hand-crank radio isn't optional, It's an absolute must for staying informed. These radios operate without relying on the grid, and they can pick up weather updates, emergency broadcasts, and critical public service announcements. Basically, they're your ears when the rest of your tech is dead. You won't be relying on your phone for updates when cell towers are overloaded or digging through unreliable social media posts. A good radio cuts straight to what matters, no fluff. Battery-powered models are straightforward to use. But as with all things battery-powered, make sure you've got spares stocked. Trust me, there's nothing worse than realizing your last set of AA batteries is already in your kid's toy robot. On the other hand, hand-crank radios are an even better option because they don't rely on batteries at all. Instead, you generate power yourself. They're ideal because of their reliability, and many models even come with built-in flashlights and USB charging ports for smaller devices. What should you look for in a radio? Choose models labeled as NOAA weather radios if possible. These receive uninterrupted National Weather Service alerts. Bonus points if it includes multiple tuning options, AM/FM shortwave, and a rechargeable option like solar. When it comes to blackouts, ignorance isn't bliss. Not knowing what's happening around you can leave you vulnerable, unprepared, and panicked. A radio keeps you in the loop, helps you anticipate what's next, and ensures you don't miss life-saving updates. Sound extreme? Maybe, but trust me, you won't think that when your battery-powered radio delivers the news no one else can. 13. Signal for help with a whistle or signal device. If you think you're too prepared to ever need a whistle or signal device, think again. Emergencies during a blackout are unpredictable, and the ability to call for help could save your life. A whistle may seem like something you'd throw in a kid's safety kit or give to a blackout. It becomes a vital piece of survival gear. Face it, your smartphone isn't going to be much help when the battery's dead, the cell towers are down, or you're stuck somewhere shouting aimlessly for attention. A good whistle is loud, piercing, and capable of cutting through noise, distance, and chaos. The key here is reliability. Forget about those cheap party favor whistles that barely work. Invest in a proper one designed for emergencies, preferably with a high decibel rating. Bonus points for models that come with a lanyard or clip so you don't lose it in the dark. 3 short blasts on a whistle is a universal distress signal. Know it, use it. If whistles aren't your thing, consider alternative signal devices. Flashing LEDs or signal mirrors also work well to attract attention, especially during daylight. Any device that makes you visible or audible to rescuers or others nearby should be part of your kit. Here's the bottom line. You can't always count on others to find you in an emergency. A whistle or signal device puts the power to get noticed firmly in your hands. It's cheap, it's lightweight, and it could mean the difference between getting rescued and being overlooked. Don't overlook this simple, life-saving tool. Add it to your prep kit now. 14. Keep a fully stocked first aid kit. Anyone who skips a first aid kit in their blackout prep is simply asking for trouble. Accidents don't stop just because the power does. Whether it's a slip in the dark, a burn from improvised cooking setups, or a sudden allergic reaction, having a first aid kit on hand is non-negotiable. You can't dial 911, cross your fingers, and hope someone shows up promptly during widespread outages. You need to be your first responder. Start with the basics. Your kit should have bandages in multiple sizes, gauze, adhesive tape, and antiseptic wipes. These are the bare minimum for handling minor cuts and scrapes. Add in tweezers, scissors, and disposable gloves for more complicated situations. And don't forget pain relievers like ibuprofen or acetaminophen. They'll be invaluable if you're dealing with injuries or an unexpected headache from stress. And there will be plenty of stress. Critical extras include medications for allergic reactions. Think antihistamines or an EpiPen if applicable, and any necessary prescriptions for your family members. If someone takes daily meds to keep their heart ticking or their blood pressure under control, make sure you've got enough to last several days. Here's the blunt truth. During a blackout, hospitals and clinics may be overrun or inaccessible. If you're stuck without even the most basic medical supplies, good luck. That paper towel and duct tape bandage isn't going to cut it in a real emergency. A properly stocked first aid kit is your insurance against unnecessary suffering or worse. If you don't have one, stop procrastinating. Put one together, stash it somewhere easy to grab, and thank yourself later. 15. Protect your space with a fire extinguisher. It's ironic, really. You're trying to survive a blackout, and suddenly you're faced with a fire. Improvised lighting, cooking over open flames, and unattended candles are all shortcuts straight to an accidental disaster. This is why having a fire extinguisher isn't just smart, it's essential. Fires don't discriminate, and during a blackout, your chances of dealing with one increase significantly. It's stupid not to prepare for something that's completely preventable. First, make sure the fire extinguisher you buy is multi-purpose and rated for Class ABC fires. This means it can handle combustibles like paper and wood, flammable liquids, grease, oil, gas, and electrical fires. Having the wrong kind of extinguisher is as bad as not having one at all. Seriously, don't waste money on something that's useless in a real emergency. Placement matters just as much as having the extinguisher. Keep one in your kitchen, even if you think you're a culinary pro who never burns anything. Another one in your garage or near any backup generators is a no-brainer. Generators can spark fires if misused, and guess what? No electricity also means no sprinkler systems or fire alarms to save the day. Keep extinguishers accessible, and make sure everyone in your household knows where they are. And don't just buy one, mount it, and forget about it. Check the expiration dates and learn how to use it properly. A fire extinguisher gathering dust in a corner is barely better than not having one at all. Fires can escalate in seconds. Don't gamble with your safety. The blunt truth? If you're caught fumbling with buckets of water or a wildly ineffective blanket to smother flames during a blackout, you're doing it wrong. A fire extinguisher is a cheap, simple way to avoid a catastrophic situation. Don't skimp on safety. Get one, learn how to use it, and stay ready for whatever chaos comes your way. 16. Equip yourself with a MultiTool or Swiss Army knife. If you've underestimated the value of a MultiTool or Swiss Army knife, here's your reality check. A blackout isn't just about sitting in the dark, it's about solving unexpected problems. Need to cut rope? Open a stubborn package? Tighten a loose screw? Without a MultiTool, you're stuck fumbling with makeshift fixes. Or worse, realizing you have no solution at all. A solid MultiTool ensures you're not that unprepared.
Get one with the essentials. At the bare minimum, it should have a knife, scissors, screwdrivers, flathead and Phillips, pliers, and a can opener. Many also include extras like wire cutters, bottle openers, and saw blades. Don't cheap out here. A poorly made multi-tool will break under pressure, leaving you cursing your bargain purchase. Invest in something durable that feels solid in your hands. This is one of those tools that can take a beating and still get the job done. While you're at it, consider how you'll actually use it during a blackout. Keep it accessible, maybe in your emergency kit or right on your hip if it comes with a belt clip or pouch. Teach everyone in your household the basics of using it safely. Trust me, the last thing you want is someone slicing their hand open trying to figure out the blade. A multi-tool isn't just nice to have, it's essential. The number of tasks it can tackle in an emergency is endless, from fixing broken gear to prying open stuck containers. And guess what? Nobody's coming to rescue you when you're wrestling with a problem a screwdriver or sharp blade could solve. Get one now, keep it sharp, use it when it matters. 17. Always have duct tape on hand. Look, if you're facing a blackout without duct tape, you're doing it wrong. Repairs, sealing, patching, securing, duct tape handles it all. It's the Swiss Army knife of adhesives. And not having a roll or 5 in your kit is amateur hour. Why duct tape? Because it's insanely versatile. Got a broken flashlight? Tape the pieces together. Need to seal a drafty window during a winter outage? Duct tape to the rescue. Is a leaky water jug threatening your precious supply? Slap some tape on it. You can even use duct tape to make an improvised bandage or splint. It might not be pretty, but it works. And during a blackout, function beats form every time. Not all duct tape is created equal. Cheap rolls might work for crafting, but they're garbage in a high-stakes situation. Invest in heavy-duty all-weather tape designed to hold up under stress. Some brands even offer waterproof or heat-resistant varieties, which could be a lifesaver depending on your situation. Here's the thing. Having duct tape isn't enough. You need to stash it where it's easy to grab when chaos strikes. Throw a roll in your survival kit, keep another in the kitchen, and don't forget the garage or car. It's not like duct tape spoils, so hoarding is totally acceptable. The bottom line is this: duct tape turns potential disasters into minor inconveniences. Whether it's fixing gear, sealing cracks, or holding together a temporary solution, duct tape does the. If you're skipping this prep step, you clearly don't know what you're doing. Add it to your kit. Now, 18. Stockpile extra batteries. When it comes to blackouts, extra batteries isn't a suggestion, it's a hard rule. What good are your flashlights, radios, or fans if they're dead weight because you forgot to stock up on power? Spoiler alert, they're useless. Extra batteries are non-negotiable. No power grid means battery-powered devices are your lifeline. If they die, you're screwed. First, take inventory of every battery-operated device you'll rely on. Flashlights, radios, fans, power tools, even kids' toys. Because trust me, whining kids in the dark is its own nightmare. Figure out what types and sizes you'll need: PAA, AAA, D, or even specialty batteries like CR123S for high-powered gear. Pro tip, don't guess, pull them out and check. Once you know what you need, bulk buy. And no, a single sad little pack of AA batteries isn't going to cut it. Think multi-packs, rechargeable options, and enough backups to carry you through days, if not weeks, of an outage. Rechargeable batteries are a smart move if you've got a solar charger to juice them back up, but even then, you'll want standard batteries as a fallback. Don't forget storage. Batteries lose their charge over time, faster if they're sitting in a hot garage or a damp basement. Store them in a cool, dry place, ideally in their original packaging to prevent corrosion. And here's the kicker: don't wait until the power's already out to realize you need batteries. By then, you'll be fighting tempers and empty shelves at every store in town. Be the person who planned ahead, not the one cursing at a dead flashlight. Batteries are cheap insurance for an otherwise miserable experience. Stock up now or regret it later. Simple as that.